Hello everyone and welcome to round 16 of the AOR PC Split 1 Season 10 Championship around India. Quick update on this league. There have been quite a few people who dropped out of the league, named Magnussen and Hamish, which is of course unfortunate because they were battling for second and third in the championship currently. I think also the reason for that is simply because we postponed this race here for 2 weeks, so also a couple of no-shows for this race, and I think also a couple of guys just lost interest in this season as well, everything is pretty much decided. So it's a little bit unfortunate to see only 9 drivers for today. I also was a little bit out of this game for these 2 weeks, so and I just, well, I thought about not showing this race whatsoever because I wasn't really happy with my driving and stuff, but I think just to be fair, I think it is the right decision also to show this race here. We're switching now on my qualifying lap. Coming now into the first corner, into first gear, clipping that apex quite nicely, and also good exit out of there. And now a pretty tricky braking zone into turn 3, which is this hairpin here. And coming now onto the long straight on this track, using almost all of my curves, just resting a little bit for the back straight, who's just coming up next after this after turn 4 here, again into first gear, and it was a reasonable first sector, I guess. Definitely not the highest risk I took through these corners, but still good lines through there. Now into the second sector, which is quite tricky with track limits, of course, and very flowing overall. So far very good through there, and now into this long right-hander, which where we're going wide and also cutting up because we turned in way too early. Also missing that apex here on the start of the third sector, which will cost us speed through this section. And now preparing us for the last corner, again into first gear, as you can see here, and sometimes a little bit tricky to fight the traction out of there, but we managed that quite well. It is a 23.4, which well, a little bit of a scruffier last part of the lap, I have to admit. It is P4 in the end. Marco FD taking pole position, 1/10 in front of my teammate, so that's pretty close. Kauk, very big surprise, in 3rd position, best qualifying for him of the season. Honey Badger in 5th position, starting on the prime tires once more, only 4/10 of pole, so that's very good for him. Nuka, this is actually his last race. He's racing in season 11 on F1 2015, which I'm not going to do. Definitely not going to do that. Fissler, Posses and Lucas running up the field for today, and Fissler and Honey Badger, the 2 Red Bulls, starting on the prime tires. I think the only one who's starting on the prime tires, if I'm not mistaken. So, just a quick look onto the strategy for 12-21. That's pit strategy, and that's our setup. 3-1 wings. I think that's pretty standard stuff, I think, around this track. And 111 of course for the second sector, which is these long flowing corners, also for the first sector. So in general, just for these 2 sectors, where you will lose a little bit more time, I think, with your going up with the front anti-roll bar. Well, not too much, I think, but yeah, I just preferred that, especially around a track like this. So starting in P4, which is reasonable, I guess. Just see how this race goes, and a good team result would be urgent, and finish in front of Honey Badger, because Magnus and Hamish dropped out. We got promoted up to P3, and Klutski in P2, and Honey Badger in P4. So we are battling now essentially for P2 on the championship. But anyway, lights are already out, and away we go for the Indian Grand Prix. I'm having a reasonable start here, braking a little bit later than Kauk actually, who's struggling out of the first corner with traction. So, but he still has the inside line for this right-hander, but we managing just about to hang it around the outside. It just leaves us enough room here that we can accelerate out of that corner properly, and we're up into P3, so that's a good start for us. in front, nothing really changed. Marco still in front of Klutzki, very close between them here into the braking zone. And Honey Badger going for an aggressive move on count very early on, so he's up to P4 as well. So the first the first 4 guys in the championship are also the first 4 guys in this race, which is, I think we never had this in this season so far, which just shows, I mean, how many different drivers yeah, we just have got who just won the race and got podium finishes and stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting. I think the only one who was very consistent on his results was Marco, and Klutzki also very pretty solid and consistent on his results, but also with a couple of no-shows and not finishing, I think, 1 race in Canada. So he would be definitely would have got more points by the time now. And yeah, but still, I mean, we still have a chance to get him in the championship, which would be quite yeah, I would like that to beat him in the championship. After yeah, it would be nice. I think maybe not that deserved, but I think if I have a good couple of races in these next weeks, I think we'll still have a chance. So we're skipping on to lap 4. Marco and Klutzki dropped cruising away a little bit at the moment, and Honey Badger surprisingly keeping it with us on the prime tires. I think also now is sort of the switchover point that the prime tires are starting to get better and better, and we're making a huge mistake into this corner, and we're cutting at this just yeah, I think otherwise I don't know actually why we cut that, but definitely in this case it didn't gain us any time whatsoever, because Honey Badger was right up our tail afterwards. So we're planning on pitting this lap, and Klutzki will stay out for 1 lap longer. So we will see how that plays out. Marco also staying out. We're messing up that pit entry, which is a tricky one, I have to admit, but well, that wasn't really good, because I just thought, well, the undercut, I think in the first stint, because these tires, if you're going until lap 5, these tires will be quite worn. So I think we can have quite a big undercut on them. But this pit entry wasn't really a good thing to do. So we're coming out of the pits in last position, of course. The first actually who pitted, well, I think the only one who was on used option tires behind us was Nuka, and he didn't pit, so everyone else was on fresh options. So it was definitely the right decision not to pit this lap. So we'll see how much the undercut will work despite that pit entry. We're seeing here Marco and Klutzki coming out, and I'm very close between Lucas and Klutzki, I think that was, or was it Luca? I'm not too sure. But we're definitely closer now, and if he does not have the ability to overtake the Williams in front straight away, I think we might have a chance to get into his DRS and maybe stay with him. That would be a very good thing to do. Also, yeah, he dived, but he tried to dive from the Williams in front, and he didn't quite manage to do it. So we're right behind him now, but we're trying. We're lifting up a little bit, because I do not want to go into a move into this corner, because well, it is a quite tricky one. And I think the car who's now then on the outside will get pushed right most of the times. So if you're going for that move, you really have to be cautious. And yeah, look at this. Look at how Klutzki can go up the inside of Nuka, and we're also taking that position straight away, because he just ran way too deep into the corner. I think his time must have gone. It was simply very straightforward forward move. On my screen there wasn't any contact. I think there may have been on his screen. I'm not too sure anymore. But he didn't say anything, so I think it should have been okay. It should be okay, and we should be okay with this. So we're now on lap 8. Honey Badger also pitted behind. And you see here Fizzler, who I actually thought is Honey Badger, so I think he overcut us, but well, it was actually Fizzler who hadn't hit yet. So that was a quite interesting mistake I made during this race. Not that good for us that Klewitsky now overtook him straight away, as we want to keep it with him. But let's see what we can do against Fizzler. We're going up the inside straight away on the corner. I do not really want to make a move, but we're braking pretty nicely. A little bit scruffy on that corner, just because we had way too direct line. That's what I was talking about due to an overtake in this corner. It is difficult also afterwards to stay within the limits. I think it was a slight cut there, but nothing too major. So on lap 10 we are 2.6 seconds behind our teammate, and Honey Badger catched up to us. So just see what we can do here to defend from him, and he's going up the inside actually into turn 3, which I hadn't expected. And I think you can see I'm just turning in a little bit on him. That was definitely not that what you should do into this corner. I was a little bit was pretty frustrated that he went for that kind of move, because it clearly had the line through there, clearly had the right to turn into this corner, because he was way far too behind us. We now try to make a counter, but we're running too deep, so that move we did on Fizzler didn't work, so we have to let him through, which is annoying, which should cost us even more time to the guys in front. I think from this point on I just thought, I don't know, you're not really well prepared for this race. You do not really it isn't really a track where I just get straight into there. I forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, lap 12 now, 2.2 seconds to Honey Badger. He pulled up quite a massive gap, and we're going into the pits now, a little bit more cautious into the pits, and going on to another set of the prime tires, of course, and again going for the undercut. But I mean, gap to Klewitsky and Mark was already about 5-6 seconds or something as we came into the pits, so it will be very, very difficult for us to catch them. I think Honey Badger has a chance, because he has the option tires in the end. His pace in general was faster than mine, better than mine, although he made that aggressive move into turn 3, but this didn't really matter in the end. I was disappointed with that, but I think in the end it didn't really matter how the outcome of this race would be. So lap 17, we are 4 seconds behind our teammate, and actually must have made a mistake on the previous lap, because we had a 1.3 seconds off that time, and again Honey Badger going for a move up the inside into turn 3, and this time again I was not really happy. I just signalized to him that I wasn't really happy with that move, but he didn't give the position back. I think he didn't really need to do that. I ran a little bit deep, and maybe thought I would even run deeper than I did in the end. But I don't know how to judge this. I think it was just in general a little bit frustrated with this track and how I drove. I just noticed, I mean, my track limits weren't really good, as you can see also here, and that section was okay, but in general not really too good and clean driving from myself, I have to say. Lap 21, actually a strategy change, because our teammate decided to go into it on this lap, because he was not too far off Marco, and he just thought, maybe have an undercut and still have the chance to win. So he went in for this lap as well, which you see him, he's going out now. Will we get held up? I think we might just be fine. Yeah, just about. I think we lost 1 second or something. That's not really much, is it? So good pit stop working from our crew, from the Musha boys there, and I think also the battling with Honey Badger isn't really going into any more stations. So we just try to make some good laps in the end, and you see now my fastest lap of the race, which was a quite fast one, I have to say. Into the first corner we go, and into the third corner, and look at the speed we took through that. That was 82k, and I think in comparison to the quali lap that was 75k or something, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 7k of a difference. So it just shows that we were much more aggressive also on the braking here, braking later than I did in qualifying. So I think yeah, taking a little bit more risk on this lap. And 8.5 seconds behind Klawitsky now. Good through there here, very nice section. And also here a little bit missing the apex and a little bit wide there. Nothing too major, I guess. And let's see how we will manage this right-hander. And that's exactly how you have to drive this section when you want to get that full throttle. That was very, very good through there. Also, after enrich on this lap, just saved a little bit of fuel to do this lap in Rich.
1,6 hinter Marco.
And coming around the final corner. So it was a very, very good lap. A slight extension in the second sector, but it is at 124.291 and the current fastest lap of the race. Apart from that, well, race is pretty much done for me. Simply do not have the chance to catch anyone in front of me. Honey Badger still not in the pits, currently on lap 24, but you can see his gap. He will definitely come out in front of us, and you can see lap 30. He came out behind Klawitsky, but he catched him very, very fast, did Honey Badger. And on the last lap, on the final straight here, in the final DRS zone, he overtook my teammate for second place. So very, very close between the two, which was a little bit unfortunate for him, for my teammate, also for me, because I'm losing now 6 points to Honey Badger in the championship. So he will definitely come closer to me as Marco crosses the line to win the Indian Grand Prix. I think for a second time in a row. He also won in season 8 after defeating Alex Gillen. And here we go. That's the race result. 5.4 seconds was Honey Badger behind Marco in the end. Only 1/10 in front of my teammate. So that was very, very close between the two on the last lap. I'm taking 10 seconds off. That's not too much actually, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with my general driving, a couple of mistakes, and yeah, it was reasonable. I wasn't really happy with it. Could have been less severe, I guess. So P4 was good. Postis is in 5th, Karek is in 6th, Lucas and Nukat grabbing up some points, and Fizzler disconnected unfortunately after I think it was 3 prime stints, I don't know. I think he went for the same strategy as his teammate. Honey Badger, of course, with fast lap of the race. Drivers' Championship. Interestingly enough, we are now 14 points behind our teammate and only 5 points in front of Honey Badger, so that's getting very, very close. Cool Cat stays in 5th. Postis moves up a position, overtakes Double D, who also did not participate a second time in a row, actually. It's third time in a row? Third time in a row, I guess it was. So Nikki and everyone behind stays as it was. So only 13 drivers actually in this league. So constructors, 62 points to Ferrari with 3 races to go. I think that is done and dusted, but well, we definitely have to win some races if we may have the chance if Double D does not attend the next races, but I think anyway, Ferrari would deserve it with this bad luck from Double D. So that was it from the Indian Grand Prix. Hope you enjoyed quite off this video and also the race, and I'll see you next time for Abu Dhabi. Bye bye.